There are mainly two types of elements in HTML, block element and inline element. A block element is simply an element that starts on a new line and stretches from the left-hand side of the page to the right-hand side of the page to occupy the full width unless a specific width is specified for that element. Let's quickly see some examples of block element. The first one will be any heading tag. So from H1 to H6, they are all block elements. We'll save and do a refresh. So block elements, we usually have a space at the top and also a space at the bottom. To illustrate the concept of a block element, let's add a style to this element and give it a border. Run pieces are solid. Let's make this red color. You can see that the element stretches from the left hand side to the right hand side of the page. If we maximize this page, you also see that the same is true. It fills from the left hand side to the right hand side of the page. Another example of the block element would be a paragraph. Let us create one here. And then put the same style. I'll save and do a refresh. You can see that the paragraph starts on a new line and stretches from the left hand side to the right hand side of the page. All HTML list elements are block elements. That means the UL tag, it's a block element. The OL tag is a block element. And the definition list is also a block element. Let's illustrate this. And let's add the style to it. Make this green. And we make this blue color. Save and do a refresh. You can see that both the UL and the OL tag takes up the entire width of the page, and anything that you put after them will be moved to the next line. Let's illustrate this. So this is also true for the other block elements. Anything that we put after them goes to the next line. We also have the HR tag. This is also a block element. And then we also have the pre-tag, which is also a block element. Refresh. You can see the HR tag here, which is a straight line, and also the pre-tag, which has the text formatting. The last block element that I will talk about is a div. The div basically allows us to group other HTML elements together so that we can better arrange our web page. So I'll take this and put here. You can see that all these other elements are now inside the div, and their width stretches from the left hand side of the div to the end of the div. So here, if I reduce the width of the div to say 300 pieces, and I do a refresh, you can see that the width of each of the elements here stretches until the end of the div. The inline element, on the other hand, does not start on a new line, and it only takes as much space as is needed. Let's quickly see some examples. Here I'm going to add another text using the small tag. This is inline. I'll save this and do a refresh. You can see that this text is on the same line with the paragraph. It did not start on a new line. To illustrate this further, let's style this and give it a border. I'll save and do a refresh. You can see that the small tag, which is an inline element, only takes as much width as is required for the text that is in between it. The same thing is true for all other inline elements. Some other examples would be the bold tag, the B tag, which is used to bold in the text. And then we also have the strong tag, which is also used to bold in the text with semantic importance. And then we have the EM tag. All these are examples of inline elements. The difference being that they do not start on a new line, whereas the block element starts on a new line and stretches out from the left hand side to the right hand side of the screen. Last example of the inline element will be a span. Put this in a paragraph. Save and do a refresh. This is a span inside a paragraph. If we want to illustrate this better, we can put a style. Save and refresh. You can see that the span also takes the width that is required. It doesn't stretch until the end of the entire width of the div, and also it doesn't start on a new line.